Dave, would you care to do the intro of our next guest?
Chris Maxwell is joining us. He heads up the Rhode Island Trucking Association, one of the few organizations in trucking that has a name, RITA, R-I-T-A, Rhode Island Trucking Association.
Take a letter to Rita.
I was looking at the calendar, Chris, and man, I couldn't believe it was since January that you've been on with us here, but it's great to have you back. Good morning.
Always a privilege to be on with you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Speaking of talking to folks, Shekarchi is the Speaker of the House, and you met with him on the trucking tolls. Boy, an issue that was all we talked about in this whole industry for a while, because as soon as Rhode Island did what they did, half of the other states in the country, came to Providence to see what was going on, as it always happens. So you kind of holding off a floodgate here in terms of other states joining Rhode Island and the trucks-only tolls. And then, because of Rhode Island's situation in terms of the size and the location, 99.9% of those trucks were from out of town, out of state, right?
Well, actually, the concern now is, Mark, that the ruling in December of 24 kind of was basically a split ruling, if you will. But what it did was it allowed for tolling, but what it did was it ruled unconstitutionally the series of daily, per gantry, and aggregate caps that were baked into the final legislation 10 years ago. That was to stave off the opposition, our opposition as a business community that saw that these Series 13 gantries would be, for trucks rolling through the state to points within the state and out, and certainly trucks traversing the state, the locals, that they would be unsustainable. So they baked in these caps to protect local businesses, and that was again to placate the business community and to placate the pretty firm opposition within the walls of the General Assembly. Well, those caps have gone up in smoke. They were ruled unconstitutional. However, the First Circuit did say that they can tow tractor trailers only. That creates a problem, though, that only the studies showed that only 6% of trucking through Rhode Island, which is not really a corridor state, there's other ways to go to travel around Rhode Island to go to points north. They determined that only 6% of that traffic through Rhode Island was purely through interstate traffic. In other words, that 94% was business within the state or business to points within our supply chain and commerce. So our concern now, and that's what we've expressed to Joe Hicks, who's been very open to our concerns, is that this plan has backfired, and absent the caps, it will burden our supply chain, our economy, and our local businesses, who will now have to burden 96% of the tolls. So we're now working with his office to come up with some formulas for alternative funding sources, whether it be a fuel tax, registrations, overweight permits. But the good news is that they have not yet started the tolling. There is a placeholder in the fiscal year 26 budget that Dan McKee put through that says they will begin sometime the latter part of next year. The other good news is that other states have not followed Rhode Island's pattern, and I think that is because the horse is out of the barn. They can't offer up similar protections for locals because it will be, again, deemed unconstitutional. So they can't protect their locals and put in a broad-scale scheme. So that's where we're at. It's really, it has backfired. Mm-hmm. It was put in place 10 years ago by our recent Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo. She fled town, left us with this very, very egregiously wrong program. And I think the General Assembly and the governor are still scratching their head, wondering how they're going to figure this whole thing out, because they really can't do much other than to reduce the rates of the 13 locations, which range anywhere from $2.50 to $9.50. Barring that seems to be the only option, but 94% $2 and 94% of $10 is still 94%, and that's the burden that we're going to be burdened with. So that's where we are on that matter. It's far from dead. We're also talking to Federal Highway to have them re-examine this whole scheme, because we feel it upends the free interstate, and it certainly perverts the intention of the bridge tolling, interstate bridge tolling exemption, which is clearly they stretched the limit on this, and so we're appealing to Washington to re-examine this whole scheme.
Got it. Well, there is some good news there, but let's turn to something that's all good news, and we're talking about Joe Hicks, huh?
Joe Hicks and I met. I was actually chairman of the board of RITA. I was in industry. In my full-time job, I was a volunteer as the chairman of the Rhode Island Trucking Association board in 2010. And Joe Hicks, at the time was with Conway, took Rookie of the Year honors at the National TDC. And ever since then, he's been nothing but the model of consistency and success. He's been 7-time grand champion of our state trucking association here, and last year won the 4-axle out in Indianapolis. And so he's on the TDC front. He's a star, and we just celebrated his 1 million accident-free mile plateau. We had a celebration at his terminal just last week. So this guy's the real deal. Not only is that, he's a humble servant, a guy that helps mentor younger drivers, not only to participate in the TDC, but to achieve excellence, and for him to achieve 1 million accident-free miles in the routes, the city routes that he covers is he's not over the road. Nothing against those, but this guy's achieved 1 million miles in the hard way. So Joe's a friend, and we're very proud. That he represents the millions of drivers, the excellence of the millions of drivers that are moving America.
Indeed. And, I'm so glad, Chris, that you mentioned the details here, because if you say, whoa, 1 million miles over the X amount of years, it's like, well, wait a minute, that's not that much. I've got 6 million miles doing that.
Right.
Yeah, not in this condition, though, not in these mazes of angry drivers and pedestrians and bicyclists and buses
and phones and autonomous vehicles, you name it. This is a gauntlet, to say the least, for these drivers. And again, he did it the old-fashioned way. He earned it on the short routes, inner city routes, congestion, and a state that's 1,000 square miles and 30 by 40 miles, and it's a pretty congested place overall. So he did it the hard way and the right way.
Now let's go to more good news here. Of course, every time somebody gets named to a new job, you never know whether to congratulate him or give him a little bit of sympathy. But we just got about 30 seconds. We'll talk about this next time you come up, because we haven't even gotten to Laslow Siegmund and the Washington Bridge yet. We'll spend some time on that next time you come on, which will be very soon, I hope.
I will look forward to it.
Yeah, but you've been you're the VP now of the TAEC, the Trucking Association Executives Council. Our good friend from Texas, John Esparza, just left that seat.
John just passed the gavel to Mr. Our friend from Arizona, Tony Bradley. Mm-hmm. Tony, this is TAEC. For those that on the road are listening out there, TAEC is a special family. It's all 50 state trucking association executives that work in concert with the ATA to promote, to be what I call supporting cast for the drivers that are out there. So it's an honor. I'm now approaching my overnight. It seems I'm approaching my 15th year at the helm of RITA. Again, I spent 25 years in industry. Now I'm at 15 or so here at RITA. So It's a special group, and I think I felt I got enough on my plate. Truly, you said appropriately. Congratulations, what the hell did I get myself into? It's a little of both.
Well, guys who do stuff always have too much on their plate. So there it is, right? And you're doing stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have enough minutes on our plate right now. So please come back real soon. Let's dig into Laslow Siegmund's assessment. The guy who designed the Washington Bridge wrote an op-ed piece.
How are you going to slip everything in the limited time we have? Chris, I'll make a deal with you.
Congrats to Tony Bradley out in Arizona. I look forward to serving as Vice Chair.
Absolutely.
Tony.
Chris, we're going to get you on for a full 20 minutes or so at the end of the show at some point in the next couple of weeks, if you have time in your very busy schedule. Thank you, sir.
Always have time for you guys. It's always a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.